I've seen you before. Familiar shadow on the floor, standing there waiting for change, but it never came, baby. Wait, I think that I've seen your face somewhere all over the place, standing there preaching you change, but you
Hey,
never.
thanks for joining us for Everything Sparkle today. This is a really exciting day. It's my birthday on Saturday. I am going to climb an 800-foot mountain, like rock climbing. So that should be very interesting. We have Fabiola Ramirez from KC24. I'm so excited. How are you, Fabiola?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so you need to tell us everything about you. You moved here when you were 12 years old?
Yeah, I moved to the United States when I was 12 years
From
old.
where?
From Mexico. I was born and raised there. And so you can only imagine that when you're a 12-year-old girl, not knowing any English whatsoever, being in a new country, new people, and it's just a culture shock for sure. But yeah, that's I came to Atwater, California, and then been a Central Valley girl since.
So what made you decide, first of all, you're learning how to speak English, and then you're like, okay, I got English down. Now let me, like, be on the news in front of everybody and have to, like, speak
And English,
proficiently.
right?
Yeah. It's like, how did you go from that to that?
You know what? I don't really have an answer for it. It was kind of more of, I liked talking a lot when I was younger, and I know that when I was next to my parents and my siblings, it was like I was the one, at the grocery store who was asking all the questions, like, excuse me, where's the milk, or where's this, where's that? And I realized that I liked to talk, and my parents said, like, you talk too much. You should look for a profession where you can talk for a living. And I also like doing videos and being into production, and I also enjoyed telling stories. So it kind of just all fell into place. I said, well, I guess I can be a reporter, which I'll be talking, and 2, I'll be telling people stories. And especially here in the Central Valley, there's a lot of stories that go untold. And so I was hoping that through news that now I'm able to share other people's stories. And let me tell you, I am. Yeah.
So how old were you when you started? Did you go to journalism school? How did it work?
Yeah, I actually went to Fresno State and graduated from Fresno State in 2016, and was in the Mass Communications and Journalism program, and I graduated there with both a journalism degree as well as a multimedia degree. And then after that, I got a job in San Luis Obispo for 2 years, and then as soon as I saw an opening in Fresno, I went ahead and applied and just got hired I want to say I've been with KC24 and CBS 47 for about 9 months now.
Wow. So you're just so new, and you just applied and got it like that?
Well, sometimes, I don't, sometimes it's just experience or how much you've worked, or also because I did intern at various stations here when I was in college. So I kind of try to leave my mark behind when I left to San Luis. So then when I applied back to Fresno, my name was kind of being tossed around. And so it was a little easier to get back into Fresno.
How exciting. Did you enjoy San Luis?
I did. The beach is amazing, and I miss it, I will tell you that. But the Central Valley is home. This is where my family is, and this is where my community is. And I think that this is the place where I can make the greater difference.
Okay, so people think it's so glamorous doing what you do. Can you tell us what really goes on behind the scenes?
Well, you probably know, just like as a host, that not everything is as glamorous as it seems. There's a lot of hard work. A lot of times when people see me show up to a scene just by myself with a camera, they're like, oh, well, where's your photographer? And I say, you know what, nowadays, we don't always get the luxury of having a photographer. Sometimes we're the ones that have to film, we're the ones that have to interview, we're the ones that have to edit, write, and then go live. The seconds that we go live in front of the camera, it's like less than a minute. And
so
that's
sometimes
like
you
the
press
glamorous.
play?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah,
You're
you
setting
live
up and
stream
then
it.
just like you're...
Yep, you live stream it, and then you turn the camera over and you can see yourself, and that's how it goes. Sometimes it is what it is. And news has moved a different route, but it's also moved into that social media type of online. So that's made it easier because it's as simple as your cell phone. But
So you have to be technologically savvy? Oh my gosh.
yeah, which is why I got a degree in multimedia as well, because
Okay, so you already knew how to do everything. You didn't go in there lost.
No, I try to have a little bit of a background on, knowing how to fix things, how to work things, how to use technology, so that if I ever got a hiccup, I knew what to do.
So do you even have like a makeup team or anything there, or it's all?
Isn't that an awesome question? Do you have a makeup team?
We know the answer to that.
No, we don't. I actually work the morning shift, so I wake up every single day at 2 a.m. And, for a lot of people, you just show up to work and that's it. No, I have to show up with my hair done, my makeup done, and you have to show up wide awake because you're going to go live. So you don't want to mess up and say something, half asleep. So no, we don't get any makeup artists. We don't get any hairstylists, nothing. It's all just you. And that's one of the things that a lot of times people think that it's a glamorous world and everything's great, but it really isn't. There's a lot of pressure from the way you look, the way you speak, and coming again to me not speaking English until I was about 12 years old, sometimes my accent goes through, or I trip over words, or I still get nervous because I know that I have an accent deep down. And so there's a lot of pressure. Sometimes we get those nasty emails or those nasty messages where it's like,
oh no,
words that you pronounce probably wrong, and you know what? You just learn from it. You just move on and you say, thank you so much. And most of the time I hope that people will, give me feedback the positive way, but it's not always the case.
So what does being a public figure mean to you?
Being a public figure means being able to make a difference for others, speak out for others, especially for my Latino community, which is such a big part of the Central Valley. But it also means just being able to be an influence for others. I know that a lot of people can see news as a glamorous, Fresno famous, or any way like that. And I think that that's one of the things that I always try to tell people. I'm not a local celebrity. I am your neighbor. I am your sister. I'm your friend. I'm your classmate. And I want everyone to understand that I'm there to make a difference in my community. I'm not here to be the Fresno famous or later move on to LA, which is a lot of the cases. A lot of the reporters that come to town, they move on to bigger markets. So they're only here for a little bit. But I'm from here, so I want to stay here and I want to see a difference in my community. So that's why I go to a lot of elementary schools, high schools, do speeches. And actually tomorrow I'm going to Greenberg Elementary School to talk to kids about why education is so important.
Is it hard because, like you said, people are watching you all the time? So is it hard, like, to go out? I don't know what your social life is, just to go on a date or have a drink at a bar. Is it like, oh my God, who's gonna watch me? Who's gonna be like, oh, fabulous, we can't be carrying her out of the bar? Like, I mean, are those like stresses that go on, or is it just?
It's with limit everything. Of course, I'm not gonna be dancing on top of the tables. No, and as it is, I keep it very classy, very professional all the time. And I think it's okay. I went to Yes Fest on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, I saw those photos.
Yeah, and you go out and you just enjoy a good time, get to know your community, get to make new friends respectfully and professionally. And I think it's the best part, when you just get to go out to the community and get to know people and people know you. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so what's the most exciting thing that happened on the job? Like one of your assignments that you were just like, this is so awesome. I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm doing this, or I can't believe I'm talking to this person. What was like that moment where you're like, wow?
I don't really have that many experiences where I've actually met someone that's like super awesome or super cool, or this is like the dream job. Of course, we get to do a lot of fun stuff. We get to enjoy some time, try some food, all this fun stuff. But I think for me, it's always been the deep stories that really get to me. So the stories where I get to make a difference, or, unfortunately, the stories when I get to report about fires and I get to tell people what's actually going on. I think that that's more meaningful to me, because sometimes when there's disasters or there's things happening, sometimes the news is the only way that people can know what's really happening on the other side. In the San Luis area, there was a lot of fires. There was the Montecito mudslide, and people depended on me to tell them what was going on because they couldn't get to that area. And it was only news that was able to get there. So it was through us that they were able to know what truly was happening. So those are the stories that I attach myself more to the ones that I know that I'm making a difference by reporting.
Does it ever get overwhelming for you where, like, after, as soon as the camera cuts, you start crying because you're like, oh my gosh, like, this is so powerful, like, what I just saw or what I just experienced?
You know what? It's happened. It's definitely happened. Because I mentioned the Montecito mudslide, that's probably one of the best examples. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but we get to see the worst. I mean, we get to see babies pulled out of mud.
So you actually saw that? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, sometimes, you show up to a car accident and you show up at the same time as the firefighters, the bodies aren't covered. And it's something that you just have to learn to see, of course, be human and understand what's happening, but also just try to move on. Because if you let it affect you, just like firefighters, just like police officers, just like sheriff, we get to see what they get to see sometimes, and you just got to get past it and talk about it. That's what's helped me, is just to talk about it.
That's so interesting. I've actually never thought of that part of it. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
Do they prepare you for that when you're in school?
No. I mean, school prepares you for how to talk in front of the camera, how to write, how to use the equipment, but those are the things that no one ever teaches you. Those are the things that you learn as you go, and you become better at it. I think that for other professions, too, it's the same case. They don't teach you how to, be able to see a dead body and walk away okay. Those are things you just learn on your own as you go. Yeah.
My next question, you don't have to say what network is it. Is it hard being a female in this industry where behind the scenes maybe men treat you like you're not very smart? Because, you are young, you are beautiful. Do you ever get treated like have you ever been mistreated behind the scenes?
You know what? Thankfully not. Thankfully, I have not been mistreated whatsoever. And I think it goes back to my multimedia experience and me being able to troubleshoot on my own. Sometimes you get an engineer and you know just as much as that they do. So thankfully, I haven't seen that in any of the stations I've worked at. The crew is amazing. They all try to work with you. They try to help you. And they know your experience, too. They know that you can do it by yourself and you can handle yourself. They're just there to help. And we all work pretty good as a team. It takes a team to work in news, because if you don't all work together, the show's not going to run good. So thankfully, that's never happened to me.
That's really good. That's awesome. Who's your favorite person to work with that we would know about, like one of your favorites, or like a mentor that you've had? Like, do you have anyone at KC24 that we know of that you're like, this person really helped me, I'm kind of being mentored by them?
Alex Delgado, she's the TV host for the 3 p.m. Central Valley Today show. She just got moved to the morning show with us. So she's been in the industry for years. So that's who I'm hoping to get a lot of help from and have her be my mentor, ask questions. And everyone at the station's amazing. So that's something I love, that I'm able to grow and learn from them who've been in it for years. Because, mind you, I've only been in the industry for 2.5 years. That's it. I graduated in 2016 from Fresno State, so fairly new to the industry. Yeah.
Wow, that's so impressive. So what, you said you want to be really impactful in the Latino community. What about for females? Is it mainly young females that you want to be looked up upon, the Latino community, all the way around? What do you want to impact the most?
If I can impact every wide range, it would be amazing, honestly. But yes, I try to focus mainly on women and try to get them to, one is believe in themselves that they can do anything they want. Because I think, especially right now in the day of age, there's a lot going on about what you're supposed to look like, how you're supposed to be. And in news, there is, you're supposed to look a certain way and you're supposed to do a certain thing. And I want women to understand that, no, you can look the way you want to. You don't have to look a specific way. And then also, a lot of little girls are have the mental image of, reporters are tall, white, and skinny kind of thing. And that's when I come in and tell them, no, you can, be only 5 feet and, be Latina, and you can do whatever you want. You don't have to be limited to whatever people tell you, or I guess the status quo. You don't have to be limited to that. So women is one, and then another one, Latino community. But if I can touch all across lives from younger generations, that'd be nice.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years career-wise?
Well, I love the Central Valley. I love being here, and I love my home. So I would hope that I'd be here. I'd hope that I can either move up within my station, or who knows, maybe I'll find a new passion down the line, or I'll still be in the same spot but making a greater difference. But I do want to stay in the Central Valley, because I think this is where my purpose is to make a difference here with the people I grew up with, the people that have similar lifestyles as me, and the people that watch me every day.
what would be the ultimate goal when you say move up in the station? Like what's your exact position now, and where would you exactly want to move up to?
So right now I'm a reporter. I'm out in the field. So it's something that
is it a field reporter? Because that's different than like a desk reporter. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a field reporter
Okay.
is what I do. Something to move up to would be like an anchor. That's just on the desk presenting the news. So that could be something that I can move up to. But who knows? We'll see.
So that's your ultimate goal is like that. What about producing and that? How does that work behind the scenes? I know you do a lot of your own stuff. Who produces an actual news show? How does that work?
So we have staff who produces the shows. Of course, anchors and reporters go through and read some of the stuff. So we reporters write our own stuff, but there are producers who write stuff for the main anchors who are on the desk. But for me, I write all of my own stuff.
And someone goes and approves it, like, okay, let's do this story this time.
Yeah, a manager approves it to make sure everything that we're running is good. Everybody, second eyes a video and making sure everything's good before we go live on air.
Do you have a lot of people that want you to promote, like, oh, put me on the news for this and that, and you're just like, I don't have control over that? Like, how do you deal with that?
I mean, we have a lot of people that do let us know. And, if we are doing a story where we can get just interviews from people out in the street, we need to comment or their opinion, sure, we get them. But also we get a lot of emails about them wanting to be in the news. So it just depends on the story. Is it newsworthy? Is there something that's going to make a difference by us telling their story? Is it something that needs to be addressed? So usually our managers decide if it's something we want to put in the news or not.
So fascinating. So I bet your family's so happy to have you back here in the Central Valley, right?
Oh yeah, they are. They really are. And I'm actually gonna go to Atwater in the weekend and go visit my family, and now I'm able to see them. They're really happy. My dad always said, as long as you come home and we have you close enough. And I'm very tight to my family because they've been such supporters of me, and they don't even know English. So it's funny when my mom will call me, she's like, I don't even know what you said, mija, but you sounded beautiful, you look beautiful.
That is so funny.
And she never misses a single show. Every morning at 5 a.m, she turns on her TV and she's watching me. Even if she, understands several words, she still will watch me. Yeah.
Is there any dream person interview, and how does it work? Like if Kenny Chesney comes to town, who'd be like, hey, I want to interview him. How does that work when somebody big comes, and who gets to, you guys all pick straws, who gets to interview
No,
him?
Usually just depends who it falls on. If it's for the morning show, it would fall on me because I'm the only morning reporter.
Okay.
If it just depends on what it falls.
Can you put your request in or something?
Yeah, obviously. So we'll see who's coming big around town.
But do you have anybody that like, wow, I would really like to interview them, or like a dream? I mean, do you ever like have an ambition to be like a host for the Oscars as far as like on the red carpet? Do you have any type of...
No, not really. I've never really thought of that. I think that I'm just that kind of reporter that does anything. I mean, I've been thrown in different situations. One day I'm tasting food at the fair. The next day I'm, at a wildfire. And then the next day I'm co-anchoring. And the next day I'm hosting the 3 p.m. Central Valley Today show. I'm that kind of reporter that just like, okay, throw me in whatever you need and I'll make it happen. Because I like to learn different positions. So I never try to say I want to do this. I just kind of wait and see what happens. It's interesting. Every day's different. For sure.
Did you know the other day when I saw you interview for the rodeo, that guy, did you know that you were going to be interviewing him? So did you know what shoes to wear? Like, I'm going to get in some mud today, so I better like dress appropriately. Or did they throw that at you?
No, that I planned and set that all up for professional
Okay.
bull riding when they came to preview it. Yeah, I set it all up. I'm the one who usually makes the phone calls, gets us all set up for the next day. So I knew what I was getting myself into. But sometimes you don't know what you're going to go to, because that day they could have called us to a wildfire and we would have had it left. So then that's when I have my backup clothes in the car and backup shoes and all that stuff. Yeah, our fire gear and then your flooding gear. And yeah, I carry a lot of bags around because you just never know.
Do you ever get nervous or worried when you're out there, like about any crazy fans? Like when you're walking to your car, of like somebody's like, oh, hey, I see you. And then you're kind of like walking and you're like, okay, well, shit, I don't want them to know what car is mine or anything, because you are recognized. Does that ever happen?
It happens, but you just kind of get past it, and I always try to approach it, the best way possible. It's okay for people to come up to us and tell us hi, and I actually appreciate people who come by and say,
Right.
we watch you, we enjoy what you do. If there's ever any situation, then of course I'll address it, but thankfully there hasn't been any. And I like them seeing me around, at the grocery store, at the gym, and stuff, because that means that they know I'm part of their community. I'm not just a face that shows up. I live where they live. I see the issues that they see. So I do enjoy that, because at the end of the day, this is where I want to be. So knowing a lot of different people is good. Yeah.
Oh, it's so great to have you, Fabiola. And I actually, I think you empower women. I think you're awesome. And I did actually wear this for you. I don't know if you are familiar with that 50s, iconic poster where the woman, is going like this and has that. So I did do this for you, girl.
Oh, my God. I love it. I know. I saw you walk in. And I was like, ooh, I love that outfit. I know. I should have worn something.
This is my favorite color. So this is exciting.
This is what we wear all the time. Just a solid color all the time. So,
but it looks good on you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hi, we are back with Socorro. That's the coolest name I've ever heard all day. And I have all these amazing future firefighters behind me. Great. Okay, so explain to me about the Deaver Foundation and what this represents.
Well, my husband is Jim Deaver, retired fire captain from Sanger Fire. He was there about 30 years, retired. In 2014, or 15, I'm sorry, he had a sudden cardiac death at home. He was without oxygen 30 minutes, and now he has an anoxic brain injury. So I started this because I was sitting in the facility I'm allowed 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, so that's what I do.
Oh my gosh.
And I know there has to be something good coming out of this tragedy for us. So I got together with the coordinator or the president of Fresno City College, asked him if they had a scholarship at the academy, because my husband was also teaching at the ROP and at the high school level. So I know I couldn't do anything at the high school level. So they said, no, not really. They do have something, but it's something small. And I thought, let's create one. So I created an endowment at Fresno City College Fire Academy. The scholarship is called Jim Deaver Fire Academy Scholarship.
That is amazing.
We do a fundraiser a year, and we raise money for these future firefighters to do what my husband's passion was. I can't teach. I don't know anything about fire. So I could throw a party and hand out money, and that's about what I could do.
Hey, that's what I could do. To me.
And the rest of it is, so it was just something in honor, to keep my husband's honor. He's still alive. He doesn't speak or move, but he's still there with me, and his heart just is so strong with his passion with fire. And I'm like, what can I do to continue that for him until he can help me do it himself? And that's what we decided to do, was start a scholarship in his name.
And I bet that keeps him going, just seeing the difference you're making.
I hope so, because he doesn't get to go with me. I don't take him. It's a lot of stimulation for him.
Yeah.
But when I do let him know, hey, look, and I show him pictures, I show him videos of the graduations, tell him, hey, we had a great fundraiser, and look what we did. The community came together. All these donations for people that they're like, who are you? And I'm like, well, you don't know me, but you know my husband. And it's been amazing. We've had amazing outpour of support in the last 3 years. And I mean, next time you call 911, they might come and save you, just like my husband saved hundreds of thousands of lives. He saved me. I've called them 100 times, and they came to pick me up. That's how I met him. And
what a great story.
I called him. I mean, not him, but I called 911.
Yeah, maybe I need to start making some accidents at home.
And then they saved his life, and it's like, you know what? It just continues. And so, like I said, I don't know anything about fire. I don't know anything about teaching. So what can I do to help? And if money is going to keep you from your passion, let me help you continue your passion. If money is a problem, if money is an issue with, I can't go to the academy because I can't afford it, because I have to do hours, I have to do schooling, then let me help you do that to continue your passion in honor of my husband.
And you actually know all these guys individually. I've met them, so you're doing.
No, I just barely met them a couple months ago. I know their names.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You've actually,
at least I know their names. But the first two fundraisers, I did not know any of them.
So now you're starting to make more let me get to know them.
It's just like when you call 911 and someone comes, I don't just say, can you send, this person to my house? It's who comes. And so, because I get that a lot. Like, how can you have this, how can you do so much work for people you don't know? And I'm like, well, when you call 911, do you know them? When I call 911, my fire's on, my house is on fire, do I call just people who I know? No. It's whoever comes. They put their life on the line for me. They put their life on the line for me. That was my husband. They put the life on the line for my husband when I called, and so what can I do for them? I might need them. One of these days, somebody might need them, and one of them or their classmates might come to your help and save your cat, save your house, save your family members. And they might say, well, I wouldn't have been a firefighter if I didn't have the money for it. Well, you know what? Let me help you with that.
That is amazing. So, since there's so many of you, can we go and introduce ourselves and how long you've been doing this and when in your experience?
Sure.
Let's start with you.
I'm Kendall Hutchison. I go by Hutch. I started this whole Fire Desire program about a year ago. Started attending school, taking fire courses, and got my EMT. Got into the academy started January 14th. No, 6th. 7th. January 7th this year. And then we graduate on May 31st. And then we met this lovely lady. She came in, introduced herself, and we're probably just as committed to the fire service as our brothers out there already fighting the fire. So
I'm Adrian Weddington, and I got into this. I actually met Hutch in class. We both took EMT and Fire Tech 1 together. So I kind of got into just a passion for the fire industry as a young adult, and then I witnessed a car accident that really furthered my passion, and I wanted more training to help, and so that caused me to go sign up for the Fire Academy, and I get to spend every day, Monday through Friday, training and hanging out with these guys and just learning all about the new career that I'll be going for. Met Socorro when she came to our class, and we're just really gathering and rallying around her to help with the scholarship and the fundraising. There's a dinner that raises money for the scholarship on May 6th, next weekend. And so we'll all be there in full uniform, helping out with the dinner, helping serve, and leading that off. And it all goes towards us furthering our education, taking more classes. The Academy just started a Fire Academy, Firefighter 2 Academy right after this one when we graduate on May 31st. And then we can also do more classes like our driver operator course. And so if we're awarded the scholarship, all that money goes towards furthering our careers. So.
Okay, so I'm going to interrupt here. April 6th, I so want to go because you're leaving out all the fun stuff. I mean, I care about you guys all doing that, but I heard there's drinking, dancing, all that. So explain that because everybody needs to come to this.
So our fundraiser is Saturday, April the 6th. The new Monsanto Band will be playing for us. It's at Kings River Winery. With your ticket, it will be dancing and food. We have beer and wine, waters and sodas, of course, photo booth. There's silent auction, live auctions. We're going to have a raffle of a liquor wagon, just a whole bunch of fun. And like I said, all 100% of the proceeds goes to the Fire Academy Scholarship Fund. They will have to do an application, so it's not like I just can't. I wish, my goal at the end of all this eventually I have enough money in my spending account where I could just give every graduate a check and say, this is to pay for your schooling. But unfortunately, I just started. This is my third one, so I can't do that. But there will be a scholarship. They have to apply for the application. We have a group. We have a DFC, which is the Deaver Fund Committee, that we end up getting the applications, and we have to choose 4, unfortunately, and decide. And
do we get a say in it if we go there? Do we get to hey, we want this person to have a scholarship, or we're not part of that, right?
No, unfortunately, you don't. It's really regarding it goes against what they write on their applications. Because in the last couple of years, we've had some great people that applied, to be honest, but they just didn't fill out the application.
Oh.
They just put at the end I want the scholarship because I think I deserve it. Well, yeah, yes, you do, but there's a lot more that goes into it.
Because I choose these 4.
Yeah. And it will be hard, so I might have to have more people on my side saying, I don't want to be a part of it. I am the president of the DFC just because I created it, but I don't want to be the one choosing because now that I have, you do have heartstrings. And eventually I do want to have enough money in this scholarship where everyone that graduates will get one.
Okay, so it's $35 per person or $50 per couple to go to this
and
event.
a table of 10 for $300, and they get special on their table. Can't say what it is, but they'll get something special, and it's from 5 to 10, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
So where do we go to get tickets?
You can go to deaverfund.org.
Okay.
You can go through me. My number is 559-288-9234. Or you can buy them at the door. But we are running out. We are going to be selling out this year.
And you guys have vendors there as well?
We have actually just sponsored like vendors like that for the food. So for instance, we have Chico's and Sanger. So we have a lot. All the food is donated. I'll be honest. The venue is pretty much donated. The band is donated. The food is donated because of the cause, not because of me. Because if it was me, it'd be a table of 4 and thanks for coming.
So can people still donate things if they're hearing this?
Definitely.
And they're like, we want to donate baskets, we want to donate,
you could donate baskets, you could donate to me personally for the fundraiser, or you could donate through Fresno City College that goes straight to the scholarship office. Because you can donate throughout the year, not just April 6th. They can donate through, so they would go through, like, it's like State Center Community College District, SCCCD. And they donate straight through them, and that's on our website. So if you go to Deaver Fund, there's a website. We have pictures of last year's, the year before. We have the scholarship previous winners. It's all on there. You can donate to me for the fund. You can donate straight through the school saying, I don't want to give them money for the fundraiser, but I'll give money to the spending account. Great.
Oh, that's really awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
that's
there's
good
a
to
whole
know.
bunch of ways. But if you want to buy, you can go to deaverfund.org, and it tells you that you can buy your tickets. We're almost selling out. So it's amazing when they hear what it's for and they're like, okay, yeah, we'd love to donate. Please do. Donate and buy tickets. That's great. So, yeah, it'd be great to have them. And we will have all 27 cadets, donating and volunteering their time.
How exciting.
And it is exciting because they are so hardworking. That's why I do it. Because when I see them, I'm like, my husband, if he could speak, he would be like, first of all, change the name of the fundraiser because he doesn't like his name out there. He's very, very, very humble. Unlike myself, I'm like, Socorro Gonzalez. No, I'm kidding. But
You have a cool name, I mean.
he's very humble, but he'd be very humble. And second, he would be very proud because he's like, this is him.
This is him.
This is him. And I do nothing about this. I just throw it out there and say, will you guys please help me with my fundraiser? It goes out to not just you, the next class and the class after and the class after. And they do all the hard work. They really do.
Okay, so now we got to go with you. We didn't forget about you guys over here.
Pretty good. My name is Sam Slossman. I actually got into fire almost a year to the day. I'm a trainer by nature, so I train people for Spartan racing and endurance stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I like to suffer with weight and going up a hill. And one day I met a firefighter, and he's like, "You're good at this. You could target this into a different direction." I was like, I really do. I want something more. I've always.
So you're going to go up the mountain with me on my birthday? Or
Let's
is
do
you
it.
let's do it.
You should take them all in their bunkers.
Well, I'll
with
be
you.
there.
Yeah.
Hey, then at least I won't be nervous about falling and everything, because I am a little scared.
If you do, you have
Got
help.
you. Thailand, we're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got into the fitness side, and then I found out what we needed to do, and that was, like I said, a year ago, and I signed up for the EMT class, the fire classes, and then now in the academy, and then we're finding ways to use what we're good at outside of the academy to help, and that's where we've gone with our urban run that's coming. We're doing that for the foundation as well. And I made a promise to Scott Mellon that I would run the urban run last year, a year from now, in my full firefighter gear. I didn't know how I was going to do that because I was nowhere near firefighting in the realm, and I told him I'd do it. And this year, I'm really excited that I can live up to that promise. So that's what we're going to do as well.
All right, last but not least, huh? So my name is Jonah Beekler. I have been targeting this career path for about a year and a half now. I have done the Cal Fire Academy and now moved on to the Fresno City Academy. I've always enjoyed helping people, whether it was just carrying some groceries to the car or something big like supporting someone that was in the hospital. It feels good to me to see that it feels good to them. I think that's the biggest part. And then also a reason I chose this career path was because I've always liked team sports. Always been an athlete, and I thought, why not putting helping others and team camaraderie together? And so that's what I did. So I did EMT as well, and meeting these guys as well as the other cadets in our class has opened up a lot of new relationships, a lot of new friendships, good group of people most of the time. And then helping this fundraiser has been exciting. Along with the other fundraisers we've put on, we've raised a lot of money in total for ourselves, for other people, for other companies, and we look forward to doing that as well for this one. So.
Nice. Thank you so much.
How do you say no to that?
How do you say no to that?
How do you not help those people? Selflessness is what my
But-
husband represented in his, without saying it. How do I not do that? How do I not continue that?
Yeah, he started, but what you're doing now is you are not that sideline woman. You are taking charge, and this is just really awesome.
It is. It is. And I can't wait for him to join me in helping me. I mean, help me bring up some donations, darn it. But no, but yeah, I mean, it's, how do you say no to that? That's why I'm like, when I saw my husband laying there, and I'm thinking something great has to come out of this horrible ordeal for me. Something great. And every time I meet the new class of cadets and I meet them, and I'm like, something did come out of it. Maybe this is why there's a plan for everything. Maybe this was my plan. Maybe I wouldn't have been doing this if my husband was well. We'd be at the coast, and eventually, my main goal is eventually, because we were living in Morro Bay half and half, is to open up another scholarship out there for them, for those they have an academy as well, San Luis Obispo County, and do a fundraiser out there 1 year, Fresno 1 year, but and have enough money in the account to support both. Let's help them all. I mean, because when you call, that's who comes.
How powerful! I'm so
Right?
glad that you're here. And I mean, we're still with the women. We're supporting Red
Right?
and for the fire. So hey, multi-purpose.
I know. I'm telling you. I'm like, all right, Jim. Get better.
Well, it's nice to have someone on the show
Great.
with a cooler name than me.
And my name means help, by the way.
Are you serious?
Yes.
In what? It means
In
help
Spanish.
in-
So if you ever look up, like, I'm named after Our Lady of Perpetual Help. Socorro means help. So help is my middle name. See?
Wow,
So I am helping.
I always think that we're supposed to like be something with our names.
And I hated my name forever because no one can ever say it.
Oh my god! I can only imagine which one of us got teased more. I mean,
So that's what the fire service is all about, is helping.
Helping.
Too.
So that's, I'm like, see it. I guess maybe before even knowing all this was going to happen, and before if I would have known years ago and come back, I would never do anything different. I would still say, you know what? Let what happens be happens. It's all the way it is. There's a plan for everything, and maybe this was my plan. Unfortunately, I have to do it by myself, but I have a great committee. I have a great support of the community. I do. I have to say I am blessed in many, many ways.
thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
At the call of my name, you are never there, darling, and maybe that's why I don't remember your name anymore. Remember your name anymore. Don't you dare, don't walk away just because you got nothing to say. Watching your ego to play.
Welcome back to Everything Sparkle. I'd like to say thank you to Ron at Next Level Printing. He's the one that does all of our beautiful artwork. And also my cousin Aubrey Danielle, who's the song Beautiful Every Time. Oh my gosh. Hello.
Well, hello.
So you are taking the place of Ray.
I don't know if that can be done. You know, that's a mold that you can't duplicate.
Is he really sick, or is he playing hooky and doing something
No.
fun?
He's pretty froggy this morning when I was. He goes, "Can you do me a favor? You know, can you go fill in on an interview?" You know, I'm feeling terrible. I said, "Okay, I'll do it."
Oh my! So how long have you been producing this show?
So we started this show.
Well, tell everybody about the show. And
So
everything.
the show is called Beyond the Harvest, and because we are located here in the San Joaquin Valley, and agriculture is really the backbone of this valley, and I've been born and raised in this industry, fourth generation grower, packer, shipper. It's always amazing to me is how little people really know about this industry and the people involved. So it was an opportunity to say, let's produce a show that is documentary style, that literally creates the human touch of what it is to produce food that we feed the world, and that the world can know where it comes from. So Ray has a wonderful show called Dine Out Along the Road, and being a foodie and being actually in the gourmet industry too, I saw the way he was doing that in the template. I go, this could be a lot of fun. Let's create something for agriculture based on that template. So that's how it all started about a year ago.
Oh my gosh. So what kind of farmers did you come from? What kind of background?
So I guess the easiest thing is my grandfather, known in this town, Paul, the theater is named after him. My family was founded here in 1904, is when they came from the old country.
Yes, we're from the same country, guys.
Yes, yeah. We keep going, we may be related. I don't know.
Most likely.
So when they settled here from Armenia in 1904, they started farming, and what it evolved to is that it was mostly tree fruit, grapes. Those were the items that we focused on. I grew up in it, so as a young guy, pretty much saw everything, was with Dad, with Grandpa, learned everything from end to end. So it's just, when they say it's in your blood, it's in your blood. So.
Yes, it's in mine. Both sides of my family, the Soojians and the Tarosians, were in agriculture, and I actually wrote for Western Ag Publishing. Do you remember Grape Grower, Tree Fruit Grower, all that?
Well, yes, I do quite well.
I wrote for them
because we were members under Pipco Fruit Company. That was that
okay.
company. So yeah, I know that quite well, and that publication, and no, it's a rich history of agriculture here. I mean, you go back, of course, to heritage. What's amazing about agriculture in this valley is that you can take every heritage, Armenian, Italian, Greek, Portuguese, Japanese. Everyone has a rich tradition of agriculture, and what we molded this valley to be, the food capital of the world. We feed the world. Well, the world actually came here, and that's what created this amazing industry that we have. So when you really think about it, it's the ultimate multicultural destination. And even to more modern times, when you look at the Hispanic family, you look at the Asian family, the Southeast Asian families, you look at the Sikh families, the Indian families, it just doesn't stop because it's been rolling into generation to generation. That's a really intriguing and deep story to tell. And that's kind of why we're doing this, because there's a lot of great stories to be told.
Are you getting audiences that aren't really into agriculture that are learning a lot? Do you have people that are like, I'm watching it, I wasn't really into it, but now I've just learned so much about...
I think that's what's exciting, is people really don't understand where their food comes from, and then when you stop and take a look at it and you connect the dots all the way from the field and really the human labor relation side of the field, because that's a story that people don't understand. They think we're through media, through its own vein, has casted the industry in a certain way, which is quite the opposite, because you see just really the compassion, the love, and the caring and the giving that most of these family farms evolve around. It's nice to be able to showcase that. And what I've done now, and what we realize, Ray and I, is that this story is very much consistent through all the episodes that we do. It's just never been uncovered, how it's been portrayed, and how these farm workers and these families come, and how they feel truly loved by the operation, and they feel part of it. And to me, that was very rewarding to be able to have the opportunity to showcase that. It's really about the higher good. Ray and I always felt that this is all about the higher good and what we do. And when you work the earth and you work the soil and you understand really what it's all about and the gift that we have in order to do this here, we need to be able to tell that higher good. So the consumer, when they be able to work it backwards and connect the dots, they are amazed to understand, well, this is what it takes to get it from the field to the fork. This is truly a field to fork show in a way that it documents it in a most accurate way.
That's amazing. Though so much goes into it. And do you guys talk about the difference between like organic farming, drip irrigation, and all that? How involved do you guys go into it?
The detail of farming is not not exposed too much. What we're doing is really trying to tell the stories of the family. Now, we do have quite a bit of organic farming into this. I happen to work for Homegrown Organic Farms. I'm the director. We are a 100% organic farming operation, and We are families representing families. That's really the backbone of what Homegrown is. And I've been with Homegrown for 9 years, and I would say outside of our own family operation, it's probably the closest thing that I have realized is of a quality company who really understands what their mission is. And really it is about the higher good and how they serve growers and how they serve the people who work within the company. It's really all about servancy. It's kind of nice. So with Homegrown being the foundation and the access to the families who are part of the Homegrown Organic Farms family of growers, I have a direct access and opportunity to connect the dots and tell those stories because I'm working with them on a daily basis. So that really, I think, was the other side of the coin, is that when you witness that as a director and you're working and connecting all the dots and orchestrating from the field to the packing to the sales to the customer, you're seeing everything happen. And the idea is that this needs to be a told story because it's unique.
And there's so many layers to it. I mean, how deep do you go into politics too, and just how people lose their farms and just all the stuff that has gone on like that?
So the politics is one thing we stayed out of because we really want to showcase what the higher good is. We understand historically there has been a lot of pain and suffering of families losing their farms for financial reasons, for economic reasons, for political reasons. And that's unfortunately just the nature of business and agriculture. Remember, you represent less than 1% of the population, so you're literally not a political force where you're going to get protected or people are going to really stand behind you and care. What you have is your family. What you have is the foundation that you have working around you, and the labor that you work with is part of your family. So there's your shield, and you have to work in unison as one, really, to produce a product and a quality and a economic environment where it's in everyone's best interest to do a good job for survival. And there's a lot of layers on that goes deeper to what we do at Homegrown and how we help growers be profitable so they can basically have succession. You know, we talk about sustainability and organic.
Right.
That's a big part of that. But the other side that we're undercovering, and you would understand this, is that we have a real succession problem because most of the people have left agriculture. So these family farms who've been operating for 3-4 generations, who are they going to leave this farm to? There's no one there that's going to pick up the torch and carry the farm. Episode number 2 or 3, I can't remember.
And we can see the reruns on.
They are on the website, so I think it's on the screen below. So it's bth-tv.com.
Okay.
When you go to the website, all the shows are there.
Great.
The Socomonian family, Natalie Socomonian and her family, great story because here's a young lady who's in her 30s. She's third generation, and she picked up the torch, and she is running a 500 plus table grape operation just south of Fresno, and she is walking the walk. And that's exciting because Joe had all daughters, and they have a label called Three Sisters. It's really adorable. It's a great story.
I love that. I'm going to go watch it.
You got to watch that one because I think that the storyline on that one is wonderful. And here's Natalie, who, you know, didn't really care for Fresno State. She was going to school, and she goes, "Dad, I want to work on the farm. I want to work alongside of you." So that is a story of a secession, of someone picking up the torch and carrying the family farm. So that's a great story. We have another one that we did with the Kazuki family, which I'm partial because I grew up in Sanger. Your previous guest had Sanger affiliates tied to it. With
my parents grew up in Sanger too.
Yeah, so there was a lot of Japanese American family farmers in the Sanger area, and what was interesting about it is that they're very private people, they're very proud people, and no one really understands what they went through during the times of endearment and you know how they could lose their farms. And we talk about losing the farms. Their story is phenomenal, how they survived, and their father, and what he did for a lot of Japanese American families to keep their farms during that very troubled time in our country's history. So these are the type of stories that we'd like to really kind of unveil. It's really the human interest side of what goes on in our industry in our backyard. So it's fun.
And it's a passion. I mean, because it can be dangerous and long hours and
pay your dues.
Yeah,
It's
my
hard.
father actually passed away in a farming accident. So this is a topic that I'm really interested in, and I know the struggles.
It's you've been born and raised in farming. You worked the ranch. I would say the most entrepreneurs came out of farming because you just couldn't go and buy it. You had to go fix it.
Yeah.
You had to figure it out.
Yes.
And that's so much the farming backbone. And heck, I remember during high school you took ag mechanics, and we built ladder trailers. We built everything possible for the use of the ranch. My dad just said, "Go build something that we need on the ranch." Okay. I'll figure it out. And that's how we grew up. And there's a lot of people in this valley who grew up that way. And those are great stories. We want to be able to basically uncover as much of those as we can.
That's amazing. So when are the new episodes?
So we're going to be filming now for season 2, which will start airing in October. They're going to be really, really exciting. Some of the storylines that we have for season 2 are dynamic because we really work it backwards from the consumer all the way to the producer.
I love that.
Whereas this first season, we went from the producer to the consumer. So
now you're going
we're going to go the other way around with it and have some fun with it. And some of the stuff I can't say too much because it's in development, but I think at the end of the day, you're going to be able to see more of the connectivity and more of the stories and the impacts that this valley has and what this show is going to be able to showcase to the consumers. And right now, we're in California. I think we're in 7 or 8 markets in California. Sinclair Broadcasting, who is behind the project, wants to take this into the Midwest a little bit and expand, spread our wings a little bit. So we're excited about that too.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Well, I'm going to be a fan, and I'm going to be glued to watching this. So you made me a fan. I hope some people out there are going to become fans as well, because it's really fascinating where our food. It's kind of the most important thing when you think about it.
It's where we are here in this valley, we feed the world. We have a lot of influence on the world. And I think there's a lot that we fail to recognize that we need to be proud of and understand that this backyard that we live in is an amazing backyard, and there aren't many places like this in the world. So we need to look at it in a different way. And those people who work it at all levels, it doesn't matter if they're packing the fruit, they're picking the fruit, they're managing the technology behind it. Everybody plays an important role, and it is an important part of our economy here. And I think we need to celebrate that.
Thank you so much for being on my show.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. And like I said, I'm not Ray, because he is the host, and he does a great job.
No, you're my cousin, uncle, brother.
We're related somewhere. We're gonna when we're done, we'll figure that part out. So thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.